All right. Happy Monday, guys. Listen, it's October 2nd. Today was our free Thrive credit day. If you did not get your credits today for Thriving for Free, I want you to make that your very first intentional mission this month to get those 2 customer accounts. Okay. And listen, even if you start off with just like balance, okay, I want you to work with people's budgets. I want you to see where your people are at, and Jackie's kind of going to talk about this just in a little bit, about how to kind of talk, bring in those customers and why and so on. So I'm going to leave that part to her, but I'm going to tell you this, you guys, my game plan coming into this month, I kind of gave you guys a little taste of it if you go over to the Dream Team page, I posted a video, and it's the crawling video, with the football play, like with the guy on the back of his shoulders, and he's crawling, and they're like, he can go just a little bit further, and they have him go further than what he even thinks he's going when the guy's on his back. And it's literally, I've been sharing this video for a decade now. And the reason for that is because a lot of times when you think you can't go any further, you can't do any more, a lot of times you can push yourself a lot further than, you're really actually going, because we waste a lot of time on stuff that doesn't grow our business. So really getting channeled in and focused, I've been very diligent about blocking out times that I know that are going to work with me, with picking up my daughter, with driving, with answering messages. I know I'm not going to answer messages if I'm getting ready to go out the door because I don't have the best service. Being intentional with joining groups, leaving groups, adding people, interacting with people, which platform I'm posting on. And honestly, if you are just really kind of getting going, I suggest starting with the one that you use the most, the one that you are primarily on, and get focused there. Okay. Because that's where you're going to kind of get in your groove the fastest. And then you can throw in a second one, or, third, or however you want to do it. But you can recycle your content. Or share it from one platform to the other, and then go over and interact, or whatever you want to do. But the post I made today specifically was very intentional. And I said add 5, but to be honest with you, I add way more than that. I don't really add more than 10 to 15. I know some people add massive amounts, but the reason why I don't is because I'm also leaving groups and unfriending people, and I don't want Facebook to kind of yell at me. But here's a little tip I want to give you. Go over to that post on the Dream Team page, check out some of the activities. All right. And I'm saying that very specifically, activities, okay, that you can do on a daily basis that are actually going to help you grow your business. It includes, yes, adding people, but it also includes sending your story in, getting samples out, following up with your customers, interacting with people, getting in, writing down some affirmations. These things are very important, because ultimately at the end of the day, your mindset is going to be the determinant on whether you do or you don't. And I'll tell you something that's really brought me through this season, is that I can't change things that are out of my control. So I can either live in fear, I can let it paralyze me, or I can say, you know what? I can't worry about tomorrow. I can just worry about today and what I'm going to control and what I can do. So my attitude and my effort, you guys have heard me say that a ton. But really, ultimately, at the end of the day, start your list as small as you want, but get consistent. The more people you are interacting with intentionally, the more you are letting people know, Jackie's going to talk about this, why they should actually want to, maybe order products or join the business and so forth. The more you're actually sharing that kind of stuff, you're going to start drawing people in. They're going to start watching you. They may not. You need to remember you're building a know, like, and trust factor. Why should they join you? Why are you the one that they should order from? And really that stays down to who would you order from? Who would you join? And listen, I love that and by the way, I've got Courtney. I shot her a message today because I want her to be on our Tuesday leadership call. So her daughter's sick right now, but she's going to get back to me. So expect to see Courtney Glacier on this month because I've already got it in the works. We're just trying to work out which Tuesday it's going to be. But Courtney and I helped her whenever she had a huge, everybody left her team back in 2018, at the end of 2018. And some of the stuff that she does now, she adopted from our team. Okay. And I want to really bring you guys into getting into community. And listen, it may be people from your team. It may be sidelines. It may be whoever is working consistently. Okay. Latch arms with those people, you guys, and you will all lift one another up and you'll hold each other accountable. And you're all going to move that pin just a little bit further in the right direction. And I'm going to tell you, like I said before we hit the start, no matter what you do, if it is in sales, you are going to have a challenge. And one of the biggest things, and if you go pro, Eric Voorhees wrote that. If you, on the Dream Team page, I know that I have uploaded the PDF of your first year of network marketing 45-second presentation. If you look at some of those books and you actually go through them, you're going to notice, and especially like Rob Spurry, Eric Voorhees, people that are going to tell you, you have to have these conversations. Like you have to talk to people. You have to get in front of your audience. So I want to give you guys a tip. How many of you guys joined a ton of groups or were added to groups back before we actually, many years ago, you were added to a ton of groups when people would just be adding you because it was like this weird thing that people were doing for a long time. I don't know. It was probably like 2015, 2017 or so. People would just add you to their group and you're like, what the heck? You didn't even want to be in them. Okay, perfect. Listen, I'm in a ton of groups. So I have wanted to scale my groups down, but it's such an overwhelming process. So I said, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to make it intentional. Want to know what I'm doing? This is so smart. And my algorithm has changed massively. I am seeing people today, even people I didn't comment on today, that literally I have not seen in years that were in those groups. Okay. So, all right, go to those groups in your under groups if you're on Facebook. All right. And this is a Facebook tip. I'll give you some other Instagram and TikTok tips too that I've been picking up and checking and trying. But on Facebook, go to those groups and then scroll all the way down if you want, or wherever, start wherever you want to. A lot of those groups are archived. All right. But because you're in them, you can click to see the post in the group, see when the last post was. Okay. You can go through the people that commented. What I found was the easiest method was I just clicked the people in the group. So now I've got a list of all the members, the ones I'm friends with, the ones I'm not friends with. So I started with the ones I was friends with and I started clicking on each name. And as I clicked, it would take me to their page. And I would look and see if they were active on Facebook, if I related to them, if they recently posted, and I commented and liked on one of their posts within the last few days. Okay. Now I went back to my face or went back to the group, did it to the next person, did it to the next person. The people I was not friends with, I went down through and I just clicked on if we had mutuals because I knew that if we had mutuals, that if there was somebody that I thought that I would get along with, that I thought they would find my content relevant, I hit the add friends. You bet your butt I did. Okay. I did. And then after I did that, if there was not a whole bunch of people in that group, I left the group. All right. I left it because it's not inactive. Most of them are archived. Most of them, the people left. And I did that one by one by one. And so I left a ton of groups today, but I also interacted with a ton of people I haven't talked to, a ton of people I hadn't been friends with or seen or anything. And you guys, some of you are like, oh, well, did any of those people reach out? No, but guess what? They're commenting, they're liking, and it's only a matter of time, right? Because I know that I'm staying consistent. So I want to put that out there for you. If you are trying to figure out a way of kind of adding new friends and so forth, and you've tried different things and you don't feel really comfortable, start there. Start with the groups that you were in that you obviously had a mutual friend that added you to, that there's going to already be mutual friends in there. And get this, a lot of those groups were sales groups, you guys, that for like, I don't know, I'm not going to name companies, but they're companies that aren't really around anymore. Those people are already open to ordering, joining, so forth. Okay. I swear I was like light bulb. And then all of a sudden I started seeing all of these people. And then also, obviously, the on this day, the birthdays, and so forth, just being super intentional. And also, every single time an ad comes up on my Facebook, I'm hitting that 3 buttons and I'm hiding that stuff. I'm also, no offense, please don't, like, if I don't comment or see your stuff, please do not take offense to that. I am getting very focused these last 90 days. So I am going through and I am hiding people, especially if they're not really that consistent in the business. Not because I don't want to cheer them on. It's just I'm trying to use the most of my time and really focus in on the people that I'm trying to interact with, right? So I'm trying to be super intentional with the time that I have, so that I'm not like living, breathing, and so forth on the phone, but also getting consistent with posting in my stories or on my Facebook, posting like, on TikTok or Instagram or whatever. I'm just making sure I'm interacting and getting posts out there, and that when they come, they're seeing somewhere. All right. It could have even been something I posted yesterday, but if they come there, they're still going to see it. I hope that makes sense. But the biggest thing is that I am trying to be intentional with the time spent, with my interactions with people, with my reach outs. I am also, my big goal for this week before the close of next Sunday, I want to have 10 samples going out. Okay, now I know that some of you guys are like, that's a little too much for me. Well, no, it's actually not, because here's the thing. I want to exchange samples, and I'm probably going to do it for a discount. Because, and listen, every one of you guys could do it for a discount, a price. Okay, because the price, if you did them through ordering the samples through the company, okay, they're way less than what you're going to pay if you had the pack, but you're going to get a better value by getting the upgrade packs, right? So if you don't mind shipping them out and so forth, do that, because you're going to get the codes, plus you're going to have product and so forth. But or if you have extra product on hand, get that stuff out the door. Don't let it sit there and expire. Get it out the door. Do giveaways. Leverage what you have. Don't be afraid of, like, say, hey, you get the Thrive experience, so forth. You have an extra bottle of balance, you'll ship that to them. All right. Like, you leverage those things as ways to kind of help you incentivize, and it just kind of like adds a little icing to the cake. And that's what I was doing. As we are closing up the month, I was kind of average, like throwing a little extra spice onto certain things, and it was just kind of put people right over the edge. Another big thing was making sure that, listen, I know some of you guys are going to hate what I'm about ready to say, and I know Jackie's going to touch on it, but getting back when you're sampling, it doesn't. So I wouldn't be here without a 3-day sample, and I wouldn't be here without a 3-way call. I wouldn't. All right. I wouldn't, because I was like, a hell no. And she was just like, will you please just get on this call? And so I said, okay. And I got on, and, she talked about sleep. She talked about feeling good, having energy. And these are all things I craved. My body hurt from working nights. I was grouchy, tired, unfocused, you name it, I was it. And I was like the poster child of everything Thrive could help. I was like the opposite. Like, so it was like the perfect solution. Um, and I was a hater and I was like, no. But when I heard what the product did, I was like, all right, fine, send me a sample. And she was like, oh, by the way, knowing my personality type, which, in case you guys do not know, I'm more of a rainbow these days, but I was more of a red, yellow. Red, as in big old goal, head right towards the goal, and then just a little bit of yellowy. And that's kind of how I was, right? Now I'm kind of like even kind of across the board. Probably the least as blue. No, I'm not gonna say that because I'm pretty outgoing. But no, seriously. And so she knew talking about the opportunity was going to sell me. And she's like, all right, so listen, there's a $200,000 bonus up for grabs. If you like this product, you're going to run for it and beat Jamie. Like, yeah, I was. Excuse my language, but yeah, I was. Because I like competition and I like a challenge, which is why this 600K has like a lit fire under me. Um, because to be honest with you guys, yes, I had all the qualifications of that. I had all of the qualifications for the 1 mil K or the 1 mil VIP. And that gives me hope that I know I can again. And I want you guys to know that if I can, this girl who knew nothing about this industry, that had zero friends, like really that, I don't have any of like my really, really good friends on my team, like that are local to me. If I can do it, so can you. All right. So can you. You just have to choose to do it. You have to choose to learn to the things you don't know. You have to choose to talk to people. You have to choose to share it. And you have to choose to overcome that voice in your head that says that you can't do it and that you won't do it. And you have to break the noise outside of you, of all the doubters, because everybody doubts everything that they themselves have not accomplished, seen, or so forth, right? It's like they don't believe it until they see it. And I am kind of one of those people as well. It's like you could tell me stories all day long and I'm not going to believe you until I see it or feel it for myself. So that's where I'm telling you that if you actually do set yourself up for the next 90 days and get consistent with your actions, with being intentional with why you're putting stuff out there, kind of Jackie's going to talk about this. I'm going to shut up in about 2 seconds. But if you get very, very, very intentional with, all right, what I'm doing right now is not working, so I need to change it, right? If what you're doing right now and you're being consistent is not working, now's the time to get the game plan. Now's the time to say, okay, well, I'm not really being that consistent. I'm not really doing personal development. I'm not really reaching out or following up. I reach out to my customers 5 days before auto ships go. And I intentionally tell my customers 5 days before auto ships go. I want you guys to understand how powerful that is. You are giving people the option. Sure, they could cancel it, whatever. I would much rather somebody add a product, subtract a product, fix a product, or move their auto ship to later in the month than them have the auto ship run and they didn't have the money for it this week. Okay. And they totally forgot. So good customer service goes a long, long way. Jackie, are you back now?
Yeah.
Okay. Say I was just talking and I'm like, ah. So, all right, I'm going to shut up. I'm going to let you go over some of the things that you sent me earlier.
Yes, I got my water now. I was just having dinner with you guys and just kind of floating around at home. I have a good week off. It's happy Motivational Monday, first of all. I always love Mondays because it's just the time to get back to, get back to basics, basically. And that's kind of what we're going to be talking about. And we are in Q4, you guys, Q4. So last couple months of the year, it is gonna, like, this is honestly the last really good month that people are going to be like, you still have their attention, right? November is really the time for you guys to connect with people belly to belly. Definitely like gear up towards that, right? For me right now, I'm doing a 10-day detox. I want to make sure, like, I'm starting now in the fall to, look and feel my best. So then that way, when I am in front of people, they're going to be like, damn, what are you doing? Right? Like, what have you been doing? Like, obviously I see you doing this Thrive thing. You guys won't believe how many people I see, and they always have to ask me, is Thrive your full-time thing? And I'm like, yeah, it's my full-time thing, because they just can't believe it, right? They really just can't believe it. They're just like, most people, because of how fun our business looks, they think it's just like, a hobby almost, right? So we want to break free of that kind of thing and really show people what's possible here. And with the whole, I'm sure you guys all have volume. I'm sure a lot of you guys are thriving for free. I'm sure a lot of you guys are still killing it in this business. But for some of the people who are not, and for some of the people who have kind of like fallen backwards a little bit, or they're just not exactly where they want to be in their business, but they're still here, they still love the product and stuff, I want to encourage you guys to get back to basics as much as possible. Okay. And there's a lot of people who are sitting in a position where they're kind of like, well, I don't want to speak up on Zoom. I don't want to share my story. I don't want to, do this. I don't want to do that. I feel like a fraud. I feel like I can't lead right now. Like, how can I lead when I'm not where I want to be? You guys have to start with the basics. You guys have to start with, talking to people, getting people on Thrive. Because I promise you, if you guys sign 1 to 2 customers and like steam starts to pick up, you're going to want to lead. You're going to want to start sharing your story. So that is where it starts. It literally starts with you. And sometimes you have to, work on yourself a little bit for you guys to actually feel like you want to do those things. So I encourage you guys to really work on yourselves during this time, and don't stay stuck in places that are, don't stay stuck for too long. You guys can't overthink like, well, I don't want to yet, or I don't have time. If you guys find yourself not having time, I want you guys to make time. Literally take 30 minutes out of your day. Okay. No interruptions, no nothing, right? Focus in, log into your cloud office, get a notepad out, start memory jogging, whatever you guys see in your office. Go cherry pick out of your organization people who are working, customers you can get on Thrive, things like that. So something that, you guys can focus on right now is, 1, getting people on Thrive and getting people back on Thrive, right? Because there are going to be a lot of people, as soon as somebody turns off their auto ship, they kind of fall off your radar, right? Because you don't see them anymore. You're kind of like, oh, let me just see who has an auto ship on and see who I need to follow up with. But if someone turned it off and you didn't know about it, they're going to fall off your radar. So it is important that you actually, go through and look at names, right? Look at names, be really intentional, look at the name and be like, who's this person, right? When was the last time they thrived? Take a look at it and start building that relationship back with them again. Besides that, we did get our credits today for Thrive for Free credits. If you guys have to use it on your personal supply, and, funds are tight, by all means, like, that is your right, right? But if you guys do have credits, like, utilize them to love on your customers. Something that's always worked for me in the summer months and in the slow months is me offering it up to people. I will literally reach out to anyone who has loved Thrive, and I'll tell them, I'll be like, hey, I have a lot of credits this month, first come, first serve. If you were looking to put an order through, my customers that come to me first, I'll give you X amount in credits. Usually for me, when I do something like that, if I'm trying to revive a customer, I do give them quite a bit. Like, I will say, hey, I'll give you $50 in credits. I know that's a lot, but I'm somebody who's a very generous person, and it's always come back to me in really great ways, right? But I tell them, first come, first serve. I have like 4 spots for this. Like, if you want a deal on your package, come back. First come, first serve, right? So they'll if I have 200 credits, that'll give me 4 brand new customers back. You guys can actually spread that out as much as you like. If you guys wanted to just do free shipping, other months where I'm like, I don't have that much credits, I will break up my credits to do free shipping for X amount of customers, right? Which is still great. I do speak about it too on my stories, right? So make sure that, if you guys definitely reach out to people, but you guys, if you are speaking out loud on your stories or on your like Facebook or something, you guys are going to attract more people. People are going to see how you service people. They're going to see your customer service, how you take care of your people, and they're going to be like, I'm going to sign with her, because they're going to remember some of these things that you guys are doing for other people, and they're going to know that you're going to do that stuff for them, right? So just things like that, right? Getting people on Thrive, getting people back on Thrive, using your Thrive for Free credits for those things, right? Use it to grow your business as much as you can. What else is there? And setting small goals for yourself for sure. Okay. With the new compensation plan changes and what it takes for you guys to get qualified and active. How many of you guys were stressed out this month? This past month that just passed. This last month then was pretty intense, you guys, but it really honestly just showed you how many people still love and value their business, right? Because there's certain things, maybe they've fallen off a little bit, maybe like some of their customers are not ordering anymore, and they're like, damn, I gotta go find a customer, and they're willing to do it. That just shows you, and you guys be there for those people, right? Whose businesses are, damn, we have a little bit of changes. I'm not getting these things automatically anymore. You guys cheer them on, right? It was intense. It was definitely intense. This last month, and it was just like we were all in this together, you guys. So but overall, tomorrow, okay, tomorrow is actually payday Tuesday. You guys are going to see some changes maybe in your checks. It might be good changes, it might be just adjustments that will balance out over time. Whatever it is, embrace the changes, okay? Embrace the changes. We still have an amazing compensation plan, the best. And hopefully it grows your guys' checks. I don't know what it's going to look like. I'm in the same boat as you guys. We are literally going through the uncertainty together, working towards these goals together. And going into a new month, I want you guys to set small goals for yourself, right? Like, I'm going to get my 2 customers early. Maybe set a goal. I want to try to sign 2 customers a week, right? Totally doable if you are absolutely intentional with your business, right? If you're absolutely intentional with your business, you can sign 2 customers a week for sure. Okay. And if you don't, you just have to look at yourself in the mirror and say, I did not try. I know I wasn't working my business. I know I wasn't reaching out enough. Right. And even if it's not a brand new customer, like, you getting back an old thriver is exactly like you getting a brand new thriver, right? You're bringing in somebody back into the business, or back into your organization, right? So really, really focus on that. Sometimes you will not have a high PPA, but sometimes you're still going to have customers, right? Who you're like kind of like resurrecting from the dead that are coming back. And that is a win, you guys. I want you guys to celebrate those wins. And then as far as like promos and stuff that are coming up, right? We are in October. I don't anticipate any really big, huge promos coming up. I know that a lot of customers have been waiting for BOGO, but I just want to say, the last promo that we had was so good, you guys. The last one we had, the September Rush promo with the free goodies, the free shipping. You guys, a lot of us had those 15% off codes floating around that we were able to stack on top of that. There were some packages that should have been like double the price. They were almost chopped in half because of how good that promo was. I hope you guys didn't sleep on it. I mean, as soon as some of us saw those cards, we were like reaching out to people. It really did make a big dent, or big rush into our business. I hope you guys did not sleep on that. I say it all the time, you guys utilize the promos, work the promos as much as you guys can. But this coming month, what are we going to see? Maybe we'll see customer or promoter appreciations. Maybe we'll see double, triple fast start. We haven't seen one in a little while. That's what I expect to see, but I don't expect to see something like a BOGO until maybe Thanksgiving, if they still have that, right? You just never know. Lavelle might change their mind and they might be like, you know what? I don't want to do a BOGO. Let's find out. Let's make something more creative. We just never know. We never know what we're going to get. I get customers and promoters even all the time, like, Jackie, when do you think there's going to be another promo? And I'm like, I don't know. I find out the same time you guys do, right? I get the same emails that you guys do. Nobody's special. Maybe I notice the patterns and stuff of what Lavelle likes to do like once in a while. But other than that, I really don't know. So you guys do not wait for promos. Make sure you guys are utilizing everything that we have. And then last thing I'm going to say is that, well, unless I have more things to say later, but what I noticed is what works more is, not so much like the how, right? You teach somebody the how, like, how do you do this? How do you do that? You teach them that once they're already curious, right? So I want you guys to really think about the way that you guys are posting. Are you guys just putting out all these like, facts and stuff? If you guys do like to post facts, like, I'll be honest with you, I attract a lot of people because of the way that I talk about facts, right? But I try to keep it as simple as possible, something that I'm bridging the gap between something very like, very facty or very green, very scientific. I'm bridging that gap to the normal person, right? That's how you should deliver facts. Okay. But I want to encourage you guys, try to stay away from like a lot of like that kind of stuff. if you do post it, do it like 80-20, right? Do like 20% teaching people, 80%, what are you gonna make them feel, right? Like what are you gonna make that person feel? So what was I saying? I had some notes. I had some notes that I was like typing off to Amanda this morning, but really
It's
just
so
like,
it's
huh?
funny that you said that because literally right at the top of my page, okay, it literally says laugh, inspired, motivation, educate. Okay. So those are the things that I'm very much being intentional with now with my content. Like I'm trying to lift people up because I know people need it. All right. People need to be inspired right now. People need to find reasons to have hope or, you know, even sharing my real and honest journey, setbacks. That's my real story. Okay. Like I could put it out there and I was nervous to share and they weren't my actual numbers, but the reality of it is like I'm a little bit off balance. That's okay. I listen, I'll be off balance for the rest of my life. You guys go on about your bad selves. All right. I have been off balance for years. But you see it more now with the where my volume is for 600K. Also, filling back in my spots and so forth. I have a lot of work to do. So guess what? In order for me to get to where I'm going, I need to help a lot of people. So I'm being intentional about talking about that. Like, I want those people and I want them to know I want to help them. I can't get to where I'm going without helping other people get to some of those places too, and elevating those people up and helping them get the results. You guys, this 15% off code from the Thrive Mingles, listen, we have been able to pull them like literally because of somebody on Amber's team's doing one. We are pulling it and we are sharing it. Take advantage of that. Okay. Just take advantage of it. Because literally you can bounce stuff off of it. Now, can you always use codes and credits? And no, you can't. A lot of times you can only use one or the other. But this last time, that 15% off code. Now, if it dropped below the 200, yes, you probably lost the other stuff. Did it work for a little bit? Yep, it sure did. But eventually, I think it got caught on. If it dropped below 200, nope, you weren't getting all the free stuff, and that's fair to me. That's fair to me because if it's under 200, then yeah, you probably aren't going to get all those things. But the company has been very, very generous to us, and they are literally pouring literal things to us. And listen, other companies are doing that as well. I'm very good friends with somebody that owns another company, and like literally they're using very similar terms, doing very similar campaigns. If you look at CEOs and things, trends that they try to do for their people, they try to drip this time of the year because they know this is the time that is literally when people build up their momentum going in, and all the people they talk to now are the ones who are reaching out first the beginning of the year when people are after the holidays and people are like ready to start their journey because they've gone through and they're like, all right, summer's going to be coming. They start planning their vacations and stuff. And that's when they're like, oh crap, like I better get on the ball. Right now, people are looking up baking stuff. So listen, go with the seasons, right? People still need energy. People still need detox. Treat meal, big one this time of the year, the holidays and so forth. People ask me all the time about my hair growth, okay, my skin, all those different things. I'm going to utilize pampering myself and doing stuff for myself, sharing those things intentionally. In fact, I don't know if I have it in this notebook. I think I have it in my other notebook sitting here somewhere, but I like going into the last day of the month, I ran a couple promos for things like I want to get some more testimonies, like certain products that I wanted to get more testimonies on. And it was like detox. I definitely want to get on the collagen gummies. It was definitely things like treat meal, expand, different products that we don't always share as much about. And I wanted to get more testimonies from people because those stories sell. Guys, I cannot tell you enough. I know that Katie put it out there on the content map for this month. You guys, if you're not utilizing that, you are utilizing something to kind of help guide you through. Doesn't have to be hers, but if you are like at ground zero, you don't know where to start there. It'll really kind of help you until you kind of find your own way with content. But send in your story. I pulled all kinds. If you want to get great before and after photos, go over to Lavelle's Instagram. Okay. Lavelle's Instagram. They put up before and after photos. Their stories all the time. Excellent stories. Also, the Thrive Connect app. You guys, I download the videos all the time and use them in my stories or reels and so forth. But literally they have a ton of resources there. Yes, you can utilize 54321. It's right in your back office. They also have the sheets in your back office. They have the sheets in your cloud. Listen, Cliff, he is on my list for calling tomorrow because I want to get these guides posted. I cannot tell you. Oh my gosh, I'm dying to share these guides, and I've gone through and edited the crap out of them and changed some of the wording because I realized it like had legs versus personally enrolled on certain stuff, and then
You
making
know
sure
what?
that people knew. Yeah.
I can't wait for you to get them out either. Because back to like I was gonna talk about how and why, right? Like how and why. If you want to trigger people when you're talking to them on social media or just talking to them in person or whatever, like why should they join our business, right? Without like having to convince them. It has to be emotionally attached to them, right? And what I want to share is just like you got to share your story. You guys obviously have a why. Like, all I wanted to do was lose a couple of pounds. That's going to relate to somebody, right? I would rather have an extra $50 in my bank account than being check to check every single month, right? Whatever that is, whatever that looks like. We just passed, the first of the month, you guys. A lot of people on the first of the month are paying their rents, right? Like, when they pay their rent, that's probably the best time for you to go in and talk about opportunity, right? Like we need to think about that. Like they literally just depleted their bank account. They probably just got paid. They had to save a certain amount of money to pay that rent, and now they're almost on empty, right? Or whatever savings they have left. And like we can actually help people with that, right?
Yeah.
We can actually help people with that cost of living. Yes, Shalana, what she's saying right now, cost of living is going up. People have certain bills they have to pay, and the only way that you're going to chip away at your bills is if you make more income. There's no other way, right? There's no windfall of money that's going to come out of the air and save these people, right? Or any of us too, right? Any of us. It's not going to happen unless we make more money. And here we have that opportunity. So really what I'm focusing on right now, and Jason Camper, he did say on one of the previous calls, like, that our vision hasn't been any more clear of what it is we need to do with a brand new promoter, right? We need to show a brand new promoter how to earn VIP. Like I can't tell you how powerful that is to say in like, if you get in X amount of orders this week, you're going to get paid on the following Tuesday. You do it again, you're going to get paid on the next following Tuesday. You do it forever, you're getting orders in every single week, you're going to keep getting paid on following Tuesday. How does that sound to you? Right? How does that sound that you can keep on generating income just by getting orders in your organization, and the following Tuesday you're going to get paid on it? We have to lead with that, right? We have to really think about that. Like even for ourselves, like, damn, I didn't do anything this week. I can't sign a Thriver, right? Okay, well, where's the problem there? The problem is we're not signing people, right? But
And it
with
does. It comes down to the duplication. Honestly, you guys, and that's the thing is that I think people get so focused on they're not signing, they're not doing this, they're not doing that, but you have to get focused on what are you doing to help somebody? How can you help somebody today, right? Like go into your day, not did I sign somebody and you feel like a failure because you didn't hit your goal or you didn't sign somebody, but rather who did you talk to today about what it is that they are struggling with? And really, when you switch that mindset, it really kind of changes your approach to it as well. And I can tell you, like, when you start talking about who needs grocery money, and one of the posts I was getting ready to put up on the last day, and I ended up not just because I started talking to somebody and so forth. Was something that about me wanting to get some reviews, and I was literally just going to put up very simply, like somebody that wanted to grow out their hair, somebody that wanted to, have a metal detox, a metabolic reset kind of. And I had like certain memory and focus. So those were like the three topics that I was going to kind of share. And then block carb and fat absorption. So it was, or four topics actually, because I just wanted to talk to people. I wanted to help them with whatever it was that they themselves already wanted. And then when you're getting paid, listen, people, yes, it's great to share all these great things and so forth, but listen, right now it's going to be, um, you know, helping to buy your groceries. So even like filling up at the gas tank, buying your groceries. If your student loans restarted this month, mine did. Bleh. Everybody asked, Amanda, I thought yours would discharge. You're a nurse. No, I worked for a for-profit company. Unfortunately. So mine were not discharged. And that sucks, but whatever. That is a very real thing right now. And groceries are, yeah, expensive. So when you go to the grocery store and your check was able to pay for half, your check was able to pay for all of it, talk about it. You guys, somebody desperately needs that. And listen, you don't have to promise somebody who's going to be a millionaire. You promise them that you're going to be there to support them, guide them, teach them the VIPs. And like I said, that guide that I have, honestly, like my husband looked at it and he was like, understood it. It was so clear. And it has it for a brand promoter, somebody that just, isn't interested in really enrolling promoters, but wants to start kind of taking advantage of the customer side of the compensation plan more. It has a way for them to focus on that, getting minis and then getting their 10 free customer accounts. When I started, it was 100 free customer accounts. You weren't even allowed to buy an upgrade pack when Tony joined unless you had 100 free accounts.
That's crazy. That tool, like the tool that Amanda's creating, and there are other things that are already like this, probably circulating and floating around a lot of team pages and stuff. But like, going back to the opportunity, when you guys get somebody curious, or even the customers, right? Even if you guys get somebody curious, get out of the way as quickly as possible. Okay. And what I mean by that is like, sometimes we're like, oh my God, I signed a brand new promoter. Like, what do I do? Right. Don't just tell them everything word of mouth out of your mouth. Okay. I want you guys to send them a resource, because a resource is a third party, it's third party credibility, right? It could be a graphic, it could be the website, it could be an onboarding call, it could be a welcome call with your upline, it could be a fast start Zoom from Lavelle, it could be a cloud office resource, right? I want you guys to guide them to that. Don't just let everything vomit out of your mouth. Okay. It's going to
If
go in
you
one
don't
ear.
know, if you don't know how to, you guys literally lean in on the people that do. Like if you're under Jackie and there's not anybody working in between you guys, reach out to Jackie and let her help you with that person go VIP. I know that Jackie and Angela and Twin and Kaylee and everybody. I can't even see everybody's faces right now. I know that I want to see people go VIP on my team. So like we are all there for you. All right. So if you don't have somebody in between, reach out to us. Let us help you how to, get that person started and helping them. All right. What are they wanting to accomplish? One of the biggest things I hate though is getting in a three-way when somebody doesn't even know why somebody wants to try the product. Like, what have you been talking about? I'm like, what? I'm like, because I'm always like, what do they want, to accomplish? I don't know. Well, then go talk to them first, like find out a little bit because that's how you're going to end up closing them, but also them being able to hear a story, hear a way that they're going to do it, feel that support and guidance. It's not taking away from you. It's just you're trying to guarantee not only their success, but you're also giving them another person, should you be busy, that they can reach out to. And it's just like an added layer, right? And honestly, this is a proven system. So that's literally the duplication. And I can tell you that is exactly where you're going to see the difference is when you start using the third party validation, when you start getting consistent with your actions, when you start getting intentional with sampling, following up, reaching out to your customers, helping your customers thrive for free. All of those actions and things that you do Those are all going to be things. Listen, I found a way that I could email all my customers. So you better believe I emailed all my customers. Going into the last day of the month, I figured out a way to convert all of them over and upload. Anyways, that's too much for another day, but I want to be able to reach out. But I think that they're going to their spam folder, so I got to find a better system. But no, just whatever it is, you guys, just remember it's about them getting the results that they want and them being happy, because when they're happy, that means they're going to stick around. And I know you guys have seen other teams talk about it, about, running your business for free. Listen, we all might, I don't take it for granted, because I literally spent 150 plus a month on my last business. It was $25 website fee. And then literally by the time you ordered the product to be qualified and active, paid the shipping, and then ended up, we didn't get free customers. We got a box of stuff that I sold for $25 every time that we got 2 customers. So anyways, you end up spending that money, right? So I'm sharing that with you because, and we only got a fast start bonus one time. And that was when they got their first 2 customers. That was it, one time. So we can get fast starts over and over and over again on upgrade packs and so forth, which is an incredible perk. And then also, I just want to encourage you guys, as you're wherever you are, all right, wherever you are, I want to encourage you to embrace where you're at. Take whatever you're not at and take it as a learning lesson, right? That you're going to be able to build it stronger and so forth. And if you haven't built it yet and you're sitting there and you are a brand promoter, whether you're brand new or you were a 12K and fell backwards or whatever, I want you to just start where you are. Say, okay, I can put myself down and this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to see who's active on my team. If there's any random ordering customers, reach out to them. Reach out to them, figure out, type their name on Facebook, Instagram, wherever they are. If they're coming from a downline that you've never really known, email corporate or send in a support ticket and say, hey, I can't find this person on any of these platforms. I can't find their phone number and I don't have their email. Is there any way you can tell me what their email address is or phone number or something? And they will help you guys. If you see somebody that's ordering, they absolutely want you to retain people. Okay, so send a message to support. And always remember, if you don't know the answer and somebody else you've asked doesn't know the answer, send it into support and they'll always get back to you. And then if support doesn't answer you, send it to me or Amber and we'll send it off to Cliff or Jackie or Twin or somebody. We'll send it off to Cliff and get the answers. We'll get some moving on it.
Amanda, when you talk to Cliff tomorrow, can you ask him why some of our 15% off codes were like crapping out, even though they should have been valid? We had quite a few that were not supposed to expire within like 72 hours, but they went out, like two of them. It's like some from my team, some from, I don't know, whoever makes those ones with like the fall.
Did it happen to go during the I forgot to put the darn thing out. I think it's because I just put it out the day before yesterday. I was planning on updating. Anyways, I'll update it tomorrow. If you guys, I'm gonna put whatever current codes I can find and so forth. The one ended today anyways. So I'll look for one for tomorrow and I'll put it, if you log into your cloud and you look at for leader update, I'm updating them in there. Like if I find one, if I find 2 or something, I'll update it so that you see the 15% off codes. But yeah, I put a note down for Cliff. And if there's anything else that you guys want me to ask him.
No, but before we get off, tomorrow is leadership call. I'm actually hosting leadership call tomorrow. I have Mimi Tran on. She's a 40K. So it'll be a really, really good call for you guys to hear. I'm not going to spoil the call, but hop on tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern, right?
She's super consistent too. I see her post like literally to fire.
Yeah. And every leader is different. I'm really excited to have her on so I can pick her brain in front of you guys, because like she's been with us for a while. I'm not gonna spoil it. She's got a really good story. Really, really good story. And
Can't wait.
it's not everything you see today, right? You guys are gonna hear about it tomorrow.
I think that's wonderful. And you guys, listen, the stories, they're ever evolving. So just remember what worked at this time. You have to be able to pivot and shake things up. And when like stuff changes and so forth, be intentional. Just be super intentional with like where you're spending your time and who you're kind of conversating with and so forth. Instead of just scrolling Instagram or scrolling TikTok, or reels or whatever, be intentional. Look up, just like a search engine, look up the kind of words of things that people that you would relate to, people that would want your products, and then go interact with them, because those are the ones that you're going to start to see, and that they're going to start to see your stuff as well. So just don't be afraid. Twin, are you wanting to talk? Because I feel like you just miss me so much. Hold on, we'll get you.
No, I was just like, you know what, on these Zooms, like I feel like we've been doing this for 6 years. Like, you know, we've been doing this for fucking 6 years. And I'm like, you know what, we need to like lead by example and just like be really intentional on these calls as well as a leader, and just like literally plug in and just zone in and listen, right? Because when I remember when I first joined, and you know, when our team calls were like fucking close to 100 participant, like it was crazy back then, right? But people were plugged in and they were learning also too, because the team was so new. But I'm like, okay, but we have new people coming in, and we should like bring back that kind of culture and kind of like the intentions, right? Like I don't know what it is, after like Courtney hit 600, it just like made me realize like, you know what, she led by such an amazing example, because it's like, okay, if
It's
someone has done
teamwork.
it, yeah, someone has done it, someone else can now do it, right? She was like on the call today, she's like, Tag, who's it next, right? And it just made me think you know what, like we've just been so comfortable with like like doing this all online, you know, just like posting and not actually being intentional with our posts, and like all that stuff, right? So I'm like, you know what, like let's just get back to like literally the basic of how we started when we started, right? So I'm just kind of trying to lead by example here and be like, you know what, if I'm going to be on a Zoom, I'm going to make sure that I am listening. I'm going to make sure that and like, you know, actually like absorbing this, no matter if I've been here for 6 years or not, right?
Yep.
I do want to say one thing though, Amanda. Our team does need a compensation plan Zoom. I remember you did one
Yeah, I'll do one.
long time ago with, I forgot who it was with, but you actually like wrote, like drew like charts and this and
Yeah.
that. And I think Eleni requested a compensation plan Zoom.
Yep.
So I
I'll
might
do
do it
the Zoom
this
anytime.
Thursday. Yeah, I
Yep.
might do it this Thursday night, because Friday I have when we usually do our team call, I have my brother's graduation. So maybe around like 6 or 9 your time, like the same time.
Okay.
So hop on that, you guys. We're gonna dig into like, you know, levels of pay and this and that. So I think we need a Zoom
Oh
of
yeah,
that too.
I'll break it all down. You guys, I'm actually really good with
Yeah, I actually
I know.
learned it through like that one Zoom that somehow I like hopped on. I'm like, oh my God, I freaking get it now. I get like the 4%, the 12%, the
Yeah.
24%. I got all that stuff. So yeah, so maybe Thursday
Yep.
we'll confirm with everyone.
Sounds good. All right, guys. Everybody have a good night and get out a post. Just share. All right. Have a good one. See you later.